Academy Sports and Outdoors presents Royals Baseball. Today from Kauffman Stadium, it's the final game of this series between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak. Here's the news on all-star left fielder Alex Gordon. He will be lost to the team for 8 weeks with a grade 2+ left groin strain. He injured it last night chasing a fly ball struck by Logan Forsythe into left center field, and you could see him lunge at the end, land awkwardly. Again, a grade 2+ left groin strain. He's expected to miss 8 weeks. We visited with Ned Yost, the manager, about when he can begin his therapy.
He's on crutches now. You know, it was hard for him to move around last night. So I'm sure it's going to be, you know, 2 or 3 weeks. And I haven't discussed any of that with Nick. But if anybody can get, you know, Alex back right, it's going to be Nick Kenny and his staff. It runs deep, you know, but you got to be able to, you know, find ways to get through it. And, you know, the team pick everybody up, and we feel like, you know, we've got the guys that can do that.
Joining me now is Rex Hudler and Alex Gordon, one of the rocks of this team. How do they move forward without him?
Just like every other team does that loses their guy. The quicker you get over that, the better off you are. It's just the nature of the business. And sometimes your guys go down immediately. You have to go, okay, who's next? And Dyson did exactly what Ned Yost was talking about. Somebody else stepping up. You cover for those guys. And just like last year when Haas went out, Billy got hot. Every guy can be picked up, believe me, but they will miss him.
They will miss him, but the guy who must pick up the Royals today is Yordano Ventura, coming off the disabled list, the guy with the explosive fastball, but he must command it for the Royals to get the sweep.
in the latest update today, is in first, leading Brian Dozier, and the Twins are home all weekend, so they'll be doing plenty of voting. That voting goes through Friday at 3. Text A5 to 89269. See if we can get Mike Moustakas in the lineup. The Royals have already lost an all-star in Alex Gordon, as Fizz and HUD talked about. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery, and now they need to rise above it, as HUD was saying, and maybe we've already seen some of that resiliency.
Right, you have to test that when you lose the best left fielder in a game. Somebody has to step forward. Last night, a great sign for Gerard Dyson.
So they showed that last night, just like we saw in the wild card game, that never give up. And maybe they get another boost here as they get the return of a key pitcher.
Yeah, well, we haven't talked a lot about losing your ace to an injury, but the Royals have been without Yordan Ventura, so there's a tremendous opportunity here to provide another boost in a different department. In the starting pitching department, Yordan Ventura, we know, has the ability to be a very dominant pitcher. Hope he's sharp today and get things started on the right foot.
Yordano Ventura last pitched on June 12th, and he comes off of the disabled list, hoping to lead his team to a 4-game sweep of the Tampa Bay Rays. Beautiful day for baseball. Fizz and HUD have the call next.
U-verse, high-speed internet. The U-verse revolves around you. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. By your local Kansas City Chevy dealers. Come visit for great prices on all new 2015 Chevy vehicles. And by Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. Welcome back to the K, where Royals fans in support of Alex Gordon, who will be lost to the team for 8 weeks because of that left groin strain. And of course, we have Gordon Nation down that left field line on Thursdays. And well, they'll march on without Alex and Kevin Cash's team. 1-5 on this road trip. They've lost 10 of their last 11 and are now 3.5 games behind the Yankees for first place in the American League East. Here's a look at the Rays lineup. John Jaso will lead things off. Grady Sizemore back in the starting lineup. Evan Longoria and James Loney go 3-4. And then Logan Forsythe, who hit the drive where Alex was injured in left center field. And of course, the return of Yordano Ventura. He has not pitched since June 12th at St. Louis, Rex, because of right ulnar neuritis. But back and healthy and ready to fire.
Yep, nice to see.
free and easy, downhill, firm fastball. Got it. Might top 98, but we'll see him. He's comfortable pitching to his defense. He's got an excellent overhand curve and a super changeup to go along with it. Hopefully he can direct all that energy towards Salvi. Now he's trying to help the Royals for their first 4-game sweep. He's taken 4 from the Mariners back September 15th through 18th in 08. They haven't swept an opponent since then.
He goes with the off-speed pitch and misses down low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
4 games. That's impressive if you can get 4. But Jaso, he's going to make it tough.
Boy, has he been hot. 6 for 8 since coming off the disabled list, where he missed 84 games because of a left wrist injury.
And his mentality is, I've missed a lot of time. It's time to get it back now. This is a guy who prepared himself. And you miss that much time, you come back in hot. That's really hard to do. He's done a great job. And once you get hot, now you ride it.
And he gets another base hit. So 7 for 9 this year.
He is riding that wave. Looking for his pitch, not trying to do too much. He's dangerous. He's been spraying the ball all over the field. Anything out over the middle to a hot hitter, he's going to hit it hard.
Now the batter, Grady Sizemore. He is 0 for 9 in this series and 0 for his last 12, and his batting average has tumbled to .265. He was just picked up by the Rays in late June after starting the season in the National League with the Philadelphia Phillies.
You know, on swings like that, it seems to me, watching him, he's behind everything. His timing's not right. He's waiting too late to get his swing going. Therefore, he's late on a lot of pitches. We've seen him fouling a bunch of balls off, and then, you know, that breaking ball, he hasn't been able to handle that one either. So get ahead with him with the fastballs and then finish him off with a hook.
And Salvi, perhaps noticing that, HUD, asks for another heater, and it was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that just missed away.
Yeah, so that's the pattern. You get ahead of him best you can, and then that good curve. Haven't seen it yet. He's got a nice overhand. He has.
In the air left side, Gerard Dyson with the great speed in a day game. The ball will carry. And Dyson makes a Willie Mays style catch.
Oh, what a play.
And they get the double play. Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable. There's no way he makes that play. Oh, that was fantastic. And wouldn't you know it, second hitter of the game. Right after you lose your platinum glove winner. The next guy, Dyson, steps up like he did last night, the very first inning when he replaced Gordon. He does it again. That was really special. Very tough to concentrate on a ball over your head, over your shoulder, trying to focus right before contact. That is tremendous concentration and a definite Gold Glove play.
We better take his temperature. He might have a case of Gordonitis.
Man, you don't see many standing O and curtain calls for a play like that. And the fans here at the K are giving it up for Gerard Dyson.
I really felt he turned the game around last night. Even Jeremy Guthrie in that 4th inning said Jeremy had a difficult time focusing on the moment because they just lost a warrior like Alex Gordon. Bases loaded. Dyson comes up, makes the catch, throws to home plate, gets the double play. Guthrie gets out of the inning without further damage, even though trailing. And we thought at that time, Rex, if the Royals come back and win, we'd point to that moment by Dyson in that inning.
Well, same thing here. Double play. That changed the game. Even though it's the first inning, you can't expect him to make that catch. If the ball falls off of his glove there, that's expected. And Jason's going to come around, possibly score. Oh, there you go.
How about that?
What a pickup.
Dyson picking up Ventura.
Unbelievable. What concentration. Dyson for president.
with a 2+ groin strain. He'll be gone 8 weeks. But he also said we have good coverage in the outfield with Dyson in Orlando. And my goodness, was he blessed with Dyson in that first inning, as the Royals still with the best record in the American League at 49-33. And Dyson will be batting ninth as he wants to roll over 9-1 with speed. Dyson and Escobar.
Yeah, that lineup, even though they're not at full strength, it doesn't really matter. They feed off of one another. This is a solid lineup led mainly by Escobar. He's been driving the Royals bus, getting on early, likes to swing at first pitches. I'm sure Nathan Carnes knows that.
I'm still like in awe of the catch that Dyson made. I'm speechless.
I haven't been able to sit down.
Oh man. Escobar, he stays hot. He's now 9 for 14 in this series.
So even though you know the guy's going to swing at the first pitch, you got to know that you got to execute that pitch, maybe in a secondary pitch. But you know, you can't tell Carnes that. He's a rookie and he's going to trust his stuff. Escobar driving right away. Carnes, good pitcher. He's a very nice rookie. He's got a good fastball, 90 to 93 miles an hour. 2 and 4 seam, curveball, changeup.
Esky now with a 7-game hit streak, 13 hits in his last 25 at bats. And here comes Hosmer, and I like this move with Alex Gordon out, moving Hosmer from 4 to 2, Rex.
I love it. Heck yeah. But you could take any of these hitters, as good as they are, and put them anywhere basically. But Hosmer's a left-handed bat, so when Escobar wants to steal, it presents a little more difficulty for the catcher, Rene Rivera.
This is his 97th start in the second spot. Different responsibilities in the 2 spot. What are they?
Well, usually in the first inning, especially when this situation happens, you get a runner on. You know, Hosmer, he can bunt, and he showed that at times, but he's not going to be bunting here. You know, second place guys, usually you want to have them move the ball around, see if they can move it. But I expect Hosmer to hit.
There's a shot down the right field line. That's a base hit. Escobar races to third. They're going to send him home. And he will score easily on the Hosmer double.
These Royals, they know how to respond to adversity. Even though they've been blessed last season with not too many severe injuries. Heck, after Gordon left the game, the guy said, "It's okay, Alex. You go on the mend. We'll take over." Hosmer in the number 2 hole. Just like I thought. Be swinging away. Jam shot. Bat died a hero as it broke. But man, was that beautiful. With a stake attached. Escobar bringing the mail home all the way from first. Great start for Ventura, I'll tell you that. And believe me, that catch that Dyson made, just like he did last night, swung the momentum big time back to the Royals.
Now Lorenzo Cain with a drive to left. And look at this.
How will the Royals respond to losing their hustle and heart? Just pass that baton around and keep the line moving. Nathan Carnes, he's got to be in a little shock as he tried a first pitch breaking ball and it hung right over the middle of the plate, and Cain hit it a mile high. And it had plenty of distance to reach the seats. I'm not sure he made the hydration station and left, but it turned this crowd on again early.
And Alex Gordon is at the game today. Ned Yost told us he is on crutches. He's probably swinging his crutches over his head as he watches this one. A 3-0 start by KC.
That's a career high in home runs for Lorenzo Cain. Well, you know, I'm hopeful that Alex Gordon didn't jump out of his seat, wherever he is. He needs to stay on the mend.
That will hang up, and Kevin Kiermaier will make the catch, but Lorenzo Cain, who blasted one over the center field wall last night, goes left field today.
So many times other sports are talked about, well, they have the momentum. This team is really feeling it. But you know, you look at baseball, it's the same thing in baseball in this sport. You make a spectacular play like Dyson to save a run and to make a catch like that, it turns the mojo and the momentum.
Salvador Perez going after the first pitch and lines out sharply to Kevin Kiermaier. But they're not missing much with what Nathan Carnes is offering. Here's the Ford defense for Tampa Bay.
Longoria, he wears the gold. He's got nice skills over there at third base.
And Kiermaier has 19 defensive runs saved. That's most in the American League.
He's an energetic center fielder. He's going to go after everything. That's a nice play he made coming in.
Now Omar Infante, batting average of .232, over 4 last night with 3 strikeouts, but it didn't diminish his defense, which was usual. Excellent. A strike in there.
Well, the Royals are doing like the rest of the league is. Carnes has given up a 6.35 ERA in the first inning.
When Omar was on that pitch, but just got underneath and sent it straight back.
So when you read statistics like that, the guy struggled his first inning to try to get himself comfortable. The Royals obviously did, and they're not missing.
Omar chases that knuckle curve, and he is out, number 3. So the Royals start well. Escobar with a single, Hosmer with a double to knock in Esky, and then a 2-run shot by Lorenzo Cain with a career high 8 home runs in 2015.
Cain is able.
And they've really jumped on Tampa Bay pitching. The Rays have now given up 28 runs to Kansas City in 3+ games, and the Rays ERA has gone from 3.40 to 3.58 coming into today, and now it's over 3.6. They were lower than Kansas City, but right now the Royals pitching is second best in the American League at 3.53, and it will be James Loney to lead off the second. Ventura delivers fastball at 97 that Loney fouls back, strike 1.
We'll see how Ventura responds to the gracious 3 runs in the first as a gift. Let's go up there and hit that strike zone. Try to stay on the corners. Stay within yourself.
Loney takes it's a 1-1 count. James missed a lot of time. The because of a broken finger. Just came off the disabled list recently, hitting .333 since his return, and has 4 hits in this series, including a home run. Ground ball, second base, Infante. 1 out. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag KCDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Ventura so important to the Royals' second half success. This was a guy who had one of the best rookie years last year in Kansas City history. 14 wins, a 3.2 ERA, and everybody recalls his excellence in Game 6 of the World Series. But Brett Saberhagen, who was the star of the '85 World Series, was visiting with us last night, and he recalled his second year in 1986. And Rex, I thought it was very, very indicative of what Giordano might be going through. Brett said even though he had this tremendous 1985 season, he felt he had to do better in '86.
That's a natural human tendency, especially for a ball player up here in the lights, in the show. And you know, when you put pressure on yourself like that, sometimes it backfires, and it just, I'm trying to less is more. And you know, Ventura has plenty of good mentors. Dave Island's there for him like he is all of his pitchers, but he's got Volquez, he's got Salvador Perez, he's got mentors, guys that are helping him get through this, and they know how important Ventura is to this championship season.
Fastball upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He had the challenges in April, first with the cramps in his finger and his calf, and then of course the anger, which led to suspensions. And there's a swing and a miss by Logan Forsythe, and there's the second strikeout for Ventura today.
Some free and easy Ventura here. Doesn't have a lot of movement going, doesn't take his hands over his head, just keeps them right there at the chest. Good separation over the rubber and straight downhill with that angle. See how that ball comes in at that angle? That's what we mean by saying downhill. It's a tougher angle for a hitter to square it up. But you know, talking with bench coach Tom Foley of the Rays, he's been there his entire career. Talking to him about Ventura, what he went through, and the Royals protecting their flag early in the season. He said it reminds me of '08 for the Rays, when they were in the thick of it, and the Boston Red Sox could not stand their success, so they had bench clearing brawl after another. If you remember '08,
I remember those.
There was
a
lot of. So I basically just, and me and Tom Foley said that's just how the game is. When the new kid on the block comes into town and nobody else likes it, so they're going to try to bully you.
Back up the middle, and Ventura kicks it to Infante. What else can go right?
Ole, 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 ole. That was beautiful. How about that? Ventura might want to try
Well, we
out.
just had the World Cup with the women, won by the U.S.
Sporting KC could use a midfielder.
Let's rewind. Another ace bites the dust. This time Chris Archer, who had been doing so well. But look who the Royals have gotten in the past, from Corey Kluber to David Price, Felix Hernandez, and then Archer, who's going to the All-Star game next week.
If you want to go back to the big dance like the Royals attended last year, you got to beat guys like this. And this is a big boost of confidence for the Royals. It does not matter who toes that slab and what kind of credentials they have. The Royals could care less. Look at the numbers and what they've done to these aces. 13 hits off of Price. Archer, the hits off of those two guys, career highs for those guys. I mean, they're not used to getting beat around like that with a Royals team that's last in home runs and last in walks. And how do they do it? They frenzy hit, they put the ball in play, they make contact, they find holes, and they have a championship swagger.
Archer had an 0.77 road ERA going into last night's game, and Kansas City jumped him, particularly in that 5-run 5th inning. Now the batter, Alex Rios.
Yep, you mentioned Carnes had a knuckle curve. It's like a spike curve, so he can get a little better grip on it. 78 to 82. He'll use that on both corners.
And he throws it a lot, 28% of the time.
He does, but mainly second time through he'll use it more as first pitches. But since they've been jumping on him early, he's going to go to that secondary pitch sooner. Curve, you see the changeup, not as used as much, but he'll use that's got some late sink to it.
Rios smacks it into left field.
Alex Rios is a guy that you look to step up with Alex Gordon out. He's had a tough time with the production with the bat. He's had plenty of time to get his timing down since he missed 6 weeks early in the season. So, you know, he's due to step up and start, you know, carrying his weight and doing what he can do, and that is hit the gaps and steal bases. He's got good legs still at 36 years old. Is he 35?
He is 34 years of age.
My bad, I aged him 2 years, sorry. 34.
You owe him a couple of birthday cakes.
I do, I'm sorry.
Here's Cheslor Cuthbert, who is only 22.
In a sport where age means a lot. It's Guthrie that I had in mind. Guthrie's 36.
Yes, he is.
But you know, these guys are in great shape. They take care of themselves. And look, some guys don't get in their prime till they're in their early 30s in baseball. It takes that long to learn the hitting craft. But not for Rios. Rios is polished. He's been around a long time.
Well, I really think one of the greatest strengths of Ned Yost as a manager is his patience. Just when fans seem to give up on a player, Alex Rios went through 7 weeks on the disabled list because of a left hand. Now it's still trying to get his timing back. And there is Cuthbert going to right field, and that ball will drop. Rios likely will score, and for Cheslor Cuthbert, this is his first major league RBI on his first major league triple.
Cheslor Cuthbert making a mark again. Last night it was on the bases. He scored from second on an infield hit. This is a pitch on the outer half. Carnes tried to put it on the outer half there, and Cuthbert with a nice swing, and the ball had some good topspin on it. And right fielder Grady Sizemore came up short. We saw it last night when DeJesus tried to do it down the left field line, missed it inside the Parker. Royals back in striking position.
The Rays will bring in the infield. This is where Dice really wants to stay on top of that baseball. He started the electricity in the ballpark today with this remarkable catch in left field. And then he was able to double off John Jaso at first base.
He's going to try and get Dyson out with high fastballs. Wants to pop him up, ideally.
Out of play. 2-1. Our Honda most trusted, certainly Gerard Dyson last night. He made this catch and then terrific throw with the bases loaded, nobody out, and that killed a Rays rally. And then today.
Yeah, when I saw his back, I said, oh, he's not going to be able to catch this. And then just feathered it in. Kept his glove about chest high and was able to double up Jaso at first base. But the thing about last night's play was how calm and cool he was when he caught the ball. He didn't panic on his transfer from his glove to hand to throw out the runner at home. He just gathered himself, got his feet underneath him, and he used what I think is one of his best tools, and that's his arm.
Kansas City has hit for the cycle just 8 batters into this game. A single by Escobar, a double by Hosmer, a home run by Kane, and now a triple by Cuthbert.
Now there's a long way to go in this game, but what players like to talk about when you have a team down first of 3 games in that 4th game, that's when you hear, let's step on their neck. And that's exactly what the Royals are doing early. A lot of game left. They are leaving no doubt.
Well, we compared it to Willie Mays' great catch, and this was in the 1954 World Series against the Cleveland Indians at the Polo Grounds, and that's what Dyson's catch looked like. There's a pop-up on the infield backing up the second baseman Logan Forsythe. He'll make the catch for the first out.
Exactly what Carnes wanted him to do. There's one thing so far early that Carnes has done right. Got a guy like Dyson, high fastballs, want to pop him up, and he got it. But you know, nothing against Mr. Mays, but Dyson's catch was a lot closer to the wall, and he was going full speed. And Dyson had to slow down, concentrate on catching it, and then turning and firing and getting that double play. I mean, I'm not saying it was better than Willie Mays' catch, but it was a little more difficult.
Yeah, Willie Mays had so far to run because there was so much territory in center field at the old Polo Grounds. And I'd just like to give a shout out to Sam Abramson in our video room, because that guy is remarkable. He's an artist, able to get that immediately. And another pop up into shallow right, and that is Forsythe with the catch, and out number 2. So Carnes getting the job done on first Dyson and then Escobar for the second out. And Tiger fans, show your school pride and get your tickets for Mizzou Night coming up on Friday, July 24th. The first 4,500 fans who bring their Mizzou Night ticket to the designated table will receive a limited edition black and gold KC Royals Mizzou cap, courtesy of Fox Sports Kansas City and Rally House. Don't miss the chance to join your fellow Tiger fans for a night of baseball as the Royals face off against the Astros. To purchase this exclusive ticket package, visit Royals.com/special events. Now Hosmer doubled his last time up. Eric takes ball 1 low.
Well, you know, the Royals, they're not used to hitting with a runner at third and no outs. Just give them 2 outs and see what they can do. They love continuing rallies with 2 outs.
Oz takes his strike. Cuthbert at third. Infield back now with the 2 out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And there is that batting average, number 1 by far in the American League.
2 outs, runner in scoring position. Now with that pitch Carnes got by him at 94, he says, I'm going to try it again.
A chopper to short. Hosmer runs well. Out. But the Royals come up with a run here in the second inning on a single by Rios, a triple by the rookie Cheslor Cuthbert, and they take a 4-0 lead to the 3rd inning here at Kauffman Stadium.
Don't like to see this, especially when you've had a jammed finger. Good effort. Glad he's okay.
4-0 lead over the Tampa Bay Rays. And there are the signs from the Royal faithful. Alex, the Gordo Nation loves you. Get well soon. Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler. We're now joined by Bruce Chen, former teammate of Alex Gordon. And I would imagine, Bruce, you're pretty proud of the way your former teammates have responded in Gordon's absence.
Yeah, I am. It's very tough to see one of your teammates, especially such a big important piece of your ball club laying around and not be able to get up on his own. So the team wanted to see my teammate. I still call them my teammates because I feel like I still feel part of the team. But they had done a great job in a way where.
Fly ball to right field, and Rios will take care of it. Go ahead, Bruce.
Yes. No, in a way where, they care about Alex, but they know they want to take care of business. So they have responded really well. Gerard Dyson, tremendous play in the first inning. Everybody else wants to, contribute. They score 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning, another run in the second. They have responded and back up Ventura today.
And if you've just joined us, this is the University of Kansas hospital injury report. Alex Gordon placed on the 15-day disabled list today. A grade 2+ strained left groin, out for, we are told, 8 weeks. And Ned Yost believes that Nick Kenny will be able to start rehab with Alex in 2 to 3 weeks, but he said that is still a question mark. And Ventura now facing Kevin Kiermaier. Ground ball. It glances off Ventura to Infante. Bare hand. Got him! Best defense in baseball, Bruce, and boy, does that pick up a starting pitcher.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they have made so many great plays already. Dyson made a really great play. Now we've got Omar Infante, bare hand grab, and look at that. Look at Hosmer, that stretch. That really makes a little bit of difference. People don't believe that, but, Eric Hosmer is really good at what he does over there in first base.
Bruce, we talked about Nick Kinney, Kyle Turner, the wonderful staff, the athletic trainers. They're award-winning, and you have had a chance to work with those guys. Talk about their professional mentality that they work with each day.
Well, they're the best in the business. That's why they win like every year the best training staff in baseball. They very dedicated. I'm pretty sure they went with Alex to the hospital. They got him the MRI. They make sure they call him. They make sure they're early enough if he needs any type of rehab. Not only Alex, but anybody. I mean, I remember a couple times where I didn't know if I was going to make my next start. And those guys are the reason why I was able to be on the field. They're very, very good at what they do. They take a lot of pride. And that's the reason why they put so many guys on the field and that they don't hit the disabled list that often.
And another reason why they might take a chance on a Chris Medlin, a guy who's had 2 Tommy Johns. And Medlin, knowing he's coming to the staff where they're successful in rehabilitating guys like that in their arms. I mean, that plays a lot into it, the talent and the skill level of the athletic trainers of the Royals.
Oh yeah, they are a big part of the ball club. I mean, sometimes when you're an older player, you want to make sure that you go to a team that has good medical staff because you know you're going to need them. A guy like Chris Medline, he 2 Tommy John surgery. He wants to put himself in a good position where he can come back. And Giordano, a great pitch in that curveball. I think he's really on.
3 strikeouts now for Giordano. He holds the 4-0 lead. legacy seat, and Courtney's a junior at William Chrisman High School and has been a member of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Kansas City since 2011. Considered by many to be truly inspiring, she can often be found mentoring younger club members of leading community service projects, and she's selected among several outstanding club members. Courtney earned the title of Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Kansas City Youth of the Year for 2015 for her sound character, leadership skills, and willingness to give back to the community. Thank you very much, Courtney.
Yes, and way to be a leader. Love young people that step out and lead.
Here is Lorenzo Cain, who's been leading the Royals lately. 15 hits in his last 27 at bats. He has been on fire, blasted a home run his last time up.
Oh, no.
And he goes down in a heap at home plate. And he's clutching his right leg.
Yeah, that's really gonna hurt right there. You know, that's a place where you don't expect. You don't get hit very often. You know, you get that knee, shin guard in the front leg, and then you're suddenly you swing and you hit it on the back leg, and that's an unexpected place, and you know that catch him by surprise.
How does that happen? Is that usually like a sinker coming down an end to be able to hit it off the back leg?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen him hitting. I can see him trying to go more like opposite field. You know, try to get the ball, you know, inside of the baseball, and just suddenly a pitch runs in. He tries to get inside of it, and he gets a piece of it, and then he gets hit on the leg.
Well, he's down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rex, you're talking about his lean back, his tilt that he has on that home run, and we've seen it so many times when Cain has gone deep.
Well, it's his finish. Oh.
That was not the type of Lorenzo Cain finish that we're used to seeing, but he waves at the Nathan Carnes offering. Well, he is a strikeout pitcher, had 10 in his last start against the New York Yankees. That was a career high. And he leads all major league rookies with 94 strikeouts and a .230 opponent batting average, but the Royals have knocked him for 5 hits and 4 runs today. He's now retired 4 straight.
Well, the young player, Carnes, he has success so far this season. So, you know, it just took him a little while to settle in. So I'm not surprised to see him settle right now. He's starting to execute his pitches. Bruce, tell us about how hard that first inning can be, whether you're a 10-year veteran or a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, it could be tough. You know, sometimes guys, you know, undervalue the first inning. You know, the first inning is when you set the tone for the whole game. You know, you want to make sure you pound the strikes, and you want to make sure that you settle the table for the rest of the game. You want to make sure that they know that you're going to be aggressive and throwing strikes. And sometimes the offense, they know that that's what you're trying to do. The Royals did a great job of jumping right in front of him, got a couple base hits, then a home run, and, you know, they jump on him. And now it's his job to get back, relax, and try to manage the game again. But right now, he's in the hole.
You've been lit up in the first inning before. You just try to get through that inning and then get back out there and say, all right, this is a new time, new game.
Fair ball. Kendrys Morales may have his 22nd double, and will.
Kevin Cash wants to talk about that call. It looked like it was really close to that line.
Man, what a great swing. Look, he gets inside of that baseball, he pulls it. Great swing, great approach. Very nice.
And that was his 23rd double of the year, and Jason Kipnis leads the American League with 27, he of the Cleveland Indians. And Kevin Cash wanted the umpires to take a look.
Well, you know, at least they talked about it. I mean, Cash did a good job of going out there and being calm and asking the umpires if they would at least talk about it. But, you know, Cash, he's a calm, collected guy, but when you lose as many games as he's been losing, sometimes that reaches a point to where you might boil over.
And Kevin receives the explanation and then heads back to the dugout. Rays is going through a lot of hard times. They've lost 10 of their last 11. And Morales with a double with 1 out. And here comes Salvador Perez, who lined out and almost had a base hit, if not for the diving catch by Kevin Kiermaier in center field.
And Rex, to get back to you on what you were asking me, sometimes, yeah, when you get behind the game, I had a great advice by one of my pitching coaches, like Bob McClure. Sometimes when they score a lot of runs of you, then you start trying to do too much, and you start saying, oh, I don't want them to score any more runs. You start being tentative. You start being behind the count. He told me, every time you go out there, you're winning 2-1. So you stay always aggressive. It doesn't matter what the score. If you're losing by 4 or you're winning by 4. It's the same thing with Jordano Ventura. When he's 4 runs ahead, he's not going to go over there and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to throw fastballs because I'm here in the game. He still needs to pitch.
So it's a mentality.
Yes, it's a mentality. You want to make sure that you're still aggressive, and you want to make sure that you're thinking you're winning 2-1 because you want to stay aggressive and throwing your best pitches all the time.
Salvi swings and misses at the fastball and strikes out.
That's a pitch there, Carnes, that he'll use to get a strikeout. He loves that four-seamer up around the letters.
Well, the All-Star game is coming, and the Royals were hoping to send 7. We will find out tomorrow if Mike Moustakas has won that fan vote. Don't miss the '86 All-Star game. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock Central next Tuesday, July 14th on Fox. And I was visiting a little bit with Brett Saberhagen before the ball game, and he said, for the team it hurts losing Alex Gordon, but he said personally for Alex, he was voted in by the fans. He was going in as a starter, and Brett said, I feel sad for him for that reason.
Yeah, it's a shame. You want to go over there when you're the starter. You want to be able to go over there, take the field with all the All-Stars. You deserve it. The fans wanted to see you. They voted for you, and they wanted to do that. But there's nothing else you can do. I'm just hope that for a speedy recovery for Alex. He's a great player, and he means a lot to the team, and the team is really going to need him.
Well, he has really probably felt the love from Kansas Cityans today. Listening to the radio stations earlier, and there's a ground ball by Infante to the shortstop, and Cabrera will throw out Omar. So the Royals do not score after the 1-out double by Kendrys Morales, but to the 4th we go, and Jordano Ventura protecting a 4-0 KC lead.
Go ahead.
parents, bring the kids out to the K this Sunday for Kids Fest presented by Subway. Enjoy pregame activities designed for the kiddos, including still walkers, face painters, caricature artists, live statues, magicians, and more. Plus, the first 5,000 kids 14 and under will receive a limited edition Slugger magnet set, courtesy of Skippy. For tickets, call 1-800-6-ROYALS or go to royals.com/kidsfest. There is the HUD zone. Unbelievable.
That's not what that said.
And that's from Cass County. Yes, it is. It said the HUD zone.
What? Oh my goodness. That fires me up.
It should.
A HUD zone.
Yeah. They're just shocking the house is what they're doing, HUD.
I am really getting tired of talking about me, Fizz, so won't you start talking about me?
I thought you'd say that.
Uncle. Oh, it fires me up, though, fans. Way to go. I know you're here for this product, and man, have they not let you down today. It's been special. Ventura's back throwing that ball hard again. There's some 99, the Ventura freeway.
He's allowed only one hit, one base runner. That was the leadoff man, Jaso, who is now 7 for 9 in this series and 7 for 9 this year because he was injured after he walked to open the season in Game 1 and slid hard into second base, injuring his left wrist. In the air, Dyson will give chase, but it's about 5 rows back.
Isn't the Ventura Highway in Southern California the 101?
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it was the 99. That's the freeway that goes right through my hometown of Fresno, so I got him confused.
Well, no, it's the one that goes up through Ventura and then up into Santa Barbara. But because we're in the Midwest, we can just go ahead and sing the song. Isn't that by the Eagles?
No. Let's let Ventura sing his tune out there. Watch him. He's got skills.
Giordano is indeed a strikeout pitcher. Struck out 159 last year in 183 innings. And gets a little tapper that Perez will take care of. And the Royals do get Jaso out. That's 10 in a row retired by Giordano. And this is encouraging, Rex, because when you look at the numbers, he usually struggles when he does in innings 1 through 3. But after that, 4 through 7 have been good. And I think a lot of it has to do with emotionally. I think at the end of May until the beginning of June, he put together, I think it was 4 straight starts of 7 innings and really looked like he was solidifying things. And then obviously the right arm issue flared up.
Notice Salvador Perez going after that ball, that little dribbler in front of the plate there. He went down with his fingers pointed down to not miss it.
2 out.
So you young catchers, when you're picking up a ball barehanded, watch how Salvi does it. He goes down, fingers straight to the ground, fingers down. You're like stabbing it. You're not coming in from the side or you'll kick the ball aside. Get on top with your fingers, see the ball, don't take your eye off it, and then set your feet and throw, just like the Gold Glover showed you.
Now with 2 out, Ventura versus Longoria, and he tries to fist one into right field. That will drop for a hit. And that ends the stretch of 11 straight retired by Ventura.
You could see, look at Longoria. He knows that was what they call a cheapy hit, but he'll take it. Both Hosmer and him are laughing. They said, hey, you know what they're saying now? They're going, well, I need that. I lined out 3 times last night. They caught it. I'll take the doinker.
The game is not fair. Now James Loney, who grounded out to second base his first time up. Royals already with 3 defensive gems in the game. 1 by Dyson. The other 2 started by Ventura when he kicked one to Infante and then nudged one to Infante with his glove, and Omar barehanded and threw out Kiermaier. In the dirt, that will get away from Salvador, and Longoria will take second base. Wild pitch.
5th one of the year for Ventura. Now let's check a look at that play where he booted the ball over to Infante. Look at this. It almost looks like he tried to do it. Look at that. It's just beautiful. He kicks it right to his buddy. Says, you know what? Way to pick me up.
Left-handers have been hitting .283 this year off Ventura. In his career, 40 points less, .242. And he has a very good changeup to go with that exceptional fastball that he uses a lot to lefties. And he went with the change there. Very good pitch efficiency by Ventura. 42 pitches, 29 of them strikes. And he has a 2-2 count with Loney. James came up in the Dodgers organization and then traded to Boston and then on to the Rays, and the Rays re-signed him. Houston, he is a Houston, Texas native, but the Dodgers were always looking for more power from Loney, and he's more of a line drive gap hitter than he is a home run hitter. Stays 2-2. He has just 3 home runs this year and hit 9 last season. He plays exceptional defense and usually gets between 30 and 35 doubles.
Ventura, he's a animated character. He's got a lot of body language, especially after the pitch. He swings that leg around. Now Dave Island, pitching coach, wouldn't really want him to do that. He calls that a little recoil. Sometimes it allows the ball to stay up in the strike zone a little bit, but you know, you are who you are. And he's a guy who's got a lot of intensity, a lot of passion, just like Chris Archer. I talked to Chris Archer, and in his first few years in the big leagues, he had a lot of body language on that mound. He says it's just hard. It's something that just takes a little bit of time to kind of get through that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, except see when he does that, it kind of it pulls his shoulder off, and he looked like he overthrew that one.
Last 2 fastballs he overthrew, and now has 2 on with 2 out for Logan Forsythe, who is 3 for 12 in this series. Longoria second, Loney first, 2 out. Ball 1. Forsythe came over from the San Diego Padres, former first-round pick. In there, 1-1. When Ventura was laboring in those 2 starts in June, where he went only 3 innings each, his velocity had dropped to an average of 94 miles an hour, but he's had it back up today. 97, 98, 99 at times. And there's a good 96, swung on and missed by Forsythe.
See how clean that delivery was there from the stretch? That was nice and clean. There was no recoil, no leg flap. I mean, very smooth delivery. Very compact and explosive. The ball comes out of his hand with life.
In there, strike 3 call. The Rays lead 2, and the Royals hold on to their 4-0 lead.
Free and easy, and Forsythe You got to go.
Line with rapid pickup at delivery.panerabread.com. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Chrysler. Find your summer of adventure with great deals at the Chrysler Summer Clearance Event. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery, Bruce Chen with you. At Kauffman Stadium, the Royals going for the sweep. They've won the first 3 games by scores of 9-5, 7-1, and 9-7, and beating Nathan Carnes today 4-0. Alex Rios will lead off. He singled his first time up and was tripled home by Cheslor Cuthbert. There's a strike. Third time through.
No, second time you see that's his lowest average, and lots of that is because he uses that pitch right there. He's using more curveballs second time through, and especially first pitch.
A.J. Burnett of Pittsburgh uses the most curveballs this year in each outing, averaging 30%. Carnes second at 28%.
You know, this is why they call it a knuckle curve. You see the index finger, it's curled up on there, and really that's just to get a better grip for that middle finger to get on those seams, pull down.
Alex with a shot to left.
Oh,
ball boy almost had it. He was reading it. Had a difficult spin as it hooked toward him.
let me analyze him. Okay.
Sorry.
Look,
sorry I blew up.
He did the right thing. He stepped aside and played it off to the side. If he plays it in front of him, he's going to get hit by that ball. So I like that. Okay. Maybe he's not real confident, but at least he didn't get in front of it and wear it. It's a good try.
Will you ever let me use your telestrator again?
Never.
Foul back. Stays 1-2.
Look at him. He's shaking his head. He's a little bummed about that.
He is, but I think he's showing good poise.
Yeah, you know, he's been able to move on. See, you always make good, though, once you hand that baseball to the youngster. Way to go.
That was my chance.
He's not happy.
Rios went, and he is out number 1 of the bottom of the 4th inning. 4 strikeouts for Carnes.
I always used to think it was if the bat head crosses the plate, that's considered a swing. But learning more about baseball as I do every single day, talking to the umpires, they say no, it's the umpire's interpretation that the hitter swung at it. That's all it is. If he believes that he made an attempt to swing at it, that's considered a swing.
Well, Cheslor Cuthbert, he's been swinging a good bat since he was called up to replace Mike Moustakas, who is on the family emergency list. And our thoughts and prayers again go to the Moustakas family out in Southern California. Cheslor last time up, first big league triple.
Yep, waited on it. Wanted to hit to the right side of the field with a runner on. Scores Rios. Winds up getting a 3-bagger.
He was part of the Omaha Storm Chasers championship last year in AAA, and that was after being named a Texas League All-Star first part of the season, then promoted. He hit 2 home runs in the AAA playoffs last year, including 1 in the AAA championship game against Pawtucket.
And believe me, it may not seem like it's much to the average Major League Baseball fan, but AAA championships, AA championships, there's a good breaking ball there. They all mean something, believe it. Just teaching you how to become a winner and play at the highest level where you are in AAA, and then that carries over to the big leagues.
And fans, Royals Charities at Fox Sports Kansas City are again partnering for a special on-air auction during the Royals Toronto Blue Jays game on Friday. The Royals Charities broadcast auction gives viewers the opportunity to bid on great ballpark experiences, one-of-a-kind items, or purchase an exclusive Royals ticket package. The auction begins at 6:30 tomorrow night during the Hy-Vee Royals live pregame show and continues throughout the telecast. For more information, just go to royals.com/broadcast auction. Dyson to left field. Foul.
Well, Dyson wasn't taking any chances. If that ball was fair, he was going to get another inside the Parker because he was all the way around in second base. He's going to have to gather himself, take his time as this ball just went foul. Got to catch your breath.
You'll be handling that broadcast auction with not only Joel and Monty, but Ryan Lefevre tomorrow night. And you fans, you can win all 4 of the Royals postseason commemorative bobbleheads framed in a shadow box, and then meet the players themselves. That's one of the auction items. That's Salvador Perez, Lorenzo Cain, Mike Moustakas, and Yordano Ventura during batting practice.
We're also
pretty good deal.
Yeah, but we need some help from a real expert. Toby Cook will be joining us
there
as well.
You go.
He always makes it special because he's an expert. He'll tell us how great the Royals Charities are and where that all goes and helping the community.
Dyson pops it up on the infield. Cabrera takes care of him. A 1-2-3 4th inning. The Royals still lead it 4-0 going to the 5th here at the K. the 4 starters from Kansas City as voted by you and the All-Star final vote. Well, Brett Gardner was selected today by Ned Yost to replace Alex Gordon, who is injured. So he is in, so the fan voting continues. Mike Moustakas had the lead just barely over Brian Dozier and Yoenis Cespedes, so we ask our Royal fans to continue to vote for Moose.
All right, so with Gardner out, this leaves 4 left.
All you have to do is go to royals.com/vote or text A5 to the number 89269. Dave Holtzman is doing it right now. Another vote for Moose. Here's David DeJesus. He was a Royal from 2003 through 2008, hit .289 with Kansas City, scored over 500 runs. Really good guy. I mean, here's a guy who can play all 3 outfield spots, still very valuable, a veteran at the age of 35.
Oh yeah, he's DHing today, and last season he DH'd a lot. He's used to the role. He doesn't necessarily like it, being an action player, an outfielder. It's hard to be a DH. And I was talking to him today before the game about that play he tried to make on Dyson, and he told me exactly what I was thinking. He says, I'm going to catch this ball and I'm going to rob him, and if it gets by me, we're in trouble.
Well, he gets a base hit to left field
because he knew Dyson was running, and sure enough, he missed it and they were in trouble.
Fans, you can vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com, and you will be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House.
Well, I believe that Gerard Dyson, with Gordon out, getting a chance to play a lot, he could be the July Player of the Month.
I hope he is.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you Alex Gordon hopes he is as well. Alex with a grade 2+ groin strain. He'll be missing 8 weeks. That's the Ned Yost guess.
They grade injuries from 1 being the least to 3, which is the most. That means the biggest injury. So 2+ is close to 3, not good.
Well, the good thing about this one, Ned said, was he won't need surgery.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people were thinking ACL and knee and all that stuff. I mean, that would have been a whole different ball game. Happy that's not the case.
0-2. And Ned went on to say, you know, it's tough on a personal level because he is one of the fan favorites, rock of the organization. He called him one of the hearts and souls of the team. And he said he woke up middle of the night and he kind of had a hole in his stomach. And he goes, gosh, and that's all I could think about was Alex being injured and not having him in that lineup every day. Well, Ned was with the Atlanta Braves, and I'm sure remembers when the Braves and Bobby Cox had to go through the Chipper Jones injury, kind of the rock of their organization. They made it through and went to the playoffs 14 straight years. Cabrera flied out to right field last time up. Not having the kind of campaign he wants offensively. His defensive excellence has still been there, but his batting average has dipped to .221. And he hits it pretty well. Right field. Rios going back, and it's off the wall. Alex bare hands. They will hold the runner at third base. It's a double for Cabrera.
DeJesus, he had to make sure that Rios wasn't going to catch it, so he couldn't just turn on the jets and come around and score. Nobody out. They got second and third. Opportunity for Kiermaier to get him on the board. Hit it off the end of the bat. If he barrels it, that's a 2-run homer. See DeJesus, he had to slow up just to make sure. Don't want to get doubled up again.
So with the Royals leading 4-0, Ventura would love to minimize the damage. Kiermaier was robbed of a hit when he struck when they glanced off the glove of Ventura. but directly towards the second baseman Infante. It rolled slowly. Omar came in barehanded and caught Kiermaier by an eyelash at first. In the dirt, good block by Sal. This is only the third time that Ventura has ever faced the Tampa Bay Rays, and the first time he threw 6 shutout innings. But the next game in July last year, almost a year ago to the day, Kiermaier hit a grand slam in the 4th inning. Waves at that off speed. Boy, I like that selection by Salvi, asking for the change, and looked like Kiermaier was dead set on dead red. And he goes back with the fastball. Here's the flashback to last year. Full count, 3-2.
Ventura has confidence in his secondary pitches. He's been effective with his changeup in this at bat against Kiermaier. Maybe he throws it 3-2.
Yeah, he went changeup, fastball, changeup.
Now you saw what he did. Ventura remembers that slam he hit off him. That was a fastball right down the middle. He could challenge him.
Ball 4, bases are loaded. Giordano had retired 11 straight, then the single by Longoria, and he's only recorded 1 out of the next 5 batters that he's faced, and that was the strikeout of Logan Forsythe looking. The next 6 batters, I should say. We got 1 of them out. Now Dave Island out for a visit, and the Royals getting Finnegan ready down in the bullpen.
Now he's going to face Rene Rivera coming up. We saw what he can do with his power last night. He took Blanton right center field for a homer. I think Dave Island's just going out saying, hey, look, just stay downhill, trust your stuff. I'll show you last night.
And the pitch was down, but over the heart of the plate, and at 90 miles an hour. Now base is full. Tried to drop a first pitch curveball in there, and now Giordano goes to the dirt, rubs his right hand in that dirt, trying to get a better grip as he's lost his command here in the 5th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. So he's gone curve, changeup, and Rivera still has not seen the fastball yet.
He knows that's what Rivera's looking for.
Rene, an all or nothing guy. A lot of power, but a lot of strikeouts. He struck out 58 times this year, but 42% of his hits this year are extra base hits.
Best case scenario would be to put him in the lane. If somehow, some way he can induce a ground ball double play, give him the run, take the 2 outs.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's where he wants to leave it, down low. In case he hits it, he'll hit it at somebody. He's ground into 4 double plays this season.
DeJesus single, Cabrera doubled, Kiermaier walked. Now Ventura with the 2-2 pitch. Just high and outside. It's 3-2.
Big pitch coming up here. It's not a bad spot. Thought he could get a swing and a miss on it, but with Kiermaier up 3-2, he went with the fastball.
Came back with the fastball at 97. And he walked it. So all of a sudden Ventura can't find home plate. He's walked 3 in the game, and all 3 have come in the last 2 innings, and the walk to Rivera, who rarely walks, drives in the Rays' first run. And now John Jaso, the batter.
Hottest Ray.
Boy, how quickly you can lose your release point, and it sure seems as if Ventura has in this last 2 innings.
And I'm sure Dave tried to remind him of just staying within himself and not trying to do too much. Don't overthrow. Just stay down and through it and trust Salvador Perez.
Rays' hottest hitter up. 2 balls and no strikes, and now Ventura just showing a little negative body language, and Salvador Perez going to jog out there. Let's just play catch.
Yep, obviously losing his mechanics. Front shoulder is always the culprit for a guy who throws hard. He's missing up and away consistently. He's pulling off his shoulder.
Three balls and no strikes. And then he drops in a fastball at 95 miles an hour. Giordano retired 10 of the first 11, but he's only retired 1 of the last 7. And Jaso sends it high in the air, deep to center field. Room for Kane, who makes the catch. The runner's tag and advances Kane. It brings it to second. So holding at first base will be Rene Rivera, but the sac fly brings in the second run.
Yeah, that's a great at bat there. 3-1. He knew it was coming. You know, he's a hot hitter. We talked about how hot he's been since he's come off the DL, but this is really almost as good as a hit. When you can get to knock the run in from third with a sac fly and move the runner from second to third with less than 2, that's a very productive out.
So now Grady Sizemore, who does not have a hit in this series, 0 for 11. First and third with 1 out. It'll be tough to double. He does run well. He hit into a double play, but it was a different kind, where he hit a long fly ball to deep left field, where Gerard Dyson made a sensational over the shoulder catch. 1-1.
Now's the time to try to put him in the lane. Get that double play ball, roll it up.
Good changeup. 1-2. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. As again, he stayed with the changeup to Sizemore.
I was hoping Sizemore would swing out of the strike zone. But you know, with getting ahead of these guys like this. He's been letting that count go to 3-2. He wants to get him right here.
So 3 straight changeups. And it's interesting, Hud, because you were talking about Sizemore in that first inning being late on a lot of fastballs in this series. And you think if Ventura went back to the fastball, he might be able to get Sizemore.
We'll see.
A little slider bat speed swing.
Finnegan's ready.
Hit it off of his front shin. So they'll stay at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Right off the ankle bone. On a pitch above the mid-90s. That hurt.
Yordano Ventura has now thrown 83 pitches in this ball game, and 33 have come in this inning to get only 1 out.
Same pitch.
In the air, left side, Dyson backing up, makes the catch, tagging at third is Kevin Kiermaier. He will score, and the Rays have cut the Royal lead to 1.
Ball's really carrying here at the K today. Looked like that was going to be a medium fly ball and ended up being not too far from the warning track. So Sizemore was able to get the 3-2 pitch that he wanted.
You know, Rex, there isn't that much difference in Ventura's full windup and stretch, but there sure is in the results, and it just seems like he has a greater difficulty throwing a strike from the stretch. Grounder to third. Cuthbert bobbles it, and that will be his first big league error.
I just tried to rush it just a tad. He looked up before he was able to catch it. See how he's looking up?
The Royals scored 3 runs in the first, 1 in the second. The Rays have come up with 3 thus far here in the 5th inning. And Rex, I think what happens, you've been an infielder and an outfielder in the past, when a pitcher is laboring, all of a sudden your fielders get a little flat-footed.
Yeah, that happens, but I think that play there, if you ask Cuthbert, he'll say, man, that was an out of the inning play.
Sure.
But you know, it does happen. Long innings like this.
James Loney grounded out to second his first time up. Took the first walk from Ventura back in the 4th, and he takes strike 1 here.
That's the pitch right there. I think would work a lot better for Ventura. That inside fastball, you know, knock him off the plate. Some of those borderline strikes in there. Tie him up.
Loney to left center field. Kane will make the play. A single, a double, a pair of walks, a pair of sacrifice flies. The Royals still hold the 4-3 lead.
all of them coming against Chris Archer, the Cy Young type of candidate, and an all-star, a great battle of all-stars. And Archer last night, all he could do is just shake his head. 3 hits coming into this one, 2 of them line drives right at him. This one after it doinked in, and Archer had to look like, man, are you kidding me? Just shook his head and started laughing. I asked him about that today. He's a very thoughtful guy, one of the more thoughtful pitchers and players in the major leagues. And he said, look, first of all, I need to make better pitches. That's on me. Give him credit. He is an awesome player. He's fun to watch. And I said, well, what were you thinking at that point when that last one, the 4th one, fell in? He said, I don't really know. I'm trying to erase last night from my memory. But what I'm guessing is I was thinking, look, this is a game you have to have fun in. No matter what is going on, you have to have fun. Make your pitches. You can't always control the results. That's what happened last night. At a very young age, this guy really has a great understanding of the game. Then he turned to HUD, by the way, and said, man, you got some screws loose. So he gets it.
Well, he did say, Joel, that if he was to choose a career outside baseball, he would major in psychology. So obviously he had to really work hard to understand HUD.
No. Here's the deal. I told him back 20 years ago when a hitter hit a line drive off of the pitcher, not once but twice, the 3rd time he's going to wear one of them. And I congratulated Archer. I said, man, the game has changed so much now that you didn't drill Escobar the 3rd time up. So I know a lot of guys that would have done that. And he says, look, that was my fault that Escobar was able to get those hits off of me. So it's on me, not Escobar. So, ooh, man.
Hosmer with his 2nd hit of the day. A double earlier that drove in a run. He is now 2 for 3. It's the Royals' first hit since the 3rd.
Short, compact stroke, right back up the middle.
Now we'll see Lorenzo Cain, who homered back in the 1st.
Lorenzo Cain really has an unusual follow through. It's a lot like his hero when he was growing up, Torrey Hunter. Look at how far he leans back on that stroke. I mean, he really gets some good momentum going forward, and then he leans back. Look at Escobar. Escobar, he's imitating him. He's able to lean back. Look at he's messing with Locaine. That's called dugout banter and having fun.
On the hands of Lorenzo and fouled off. So he is down in the count 0-2.
We're seeing Nathan Carnes throw more breaking balls, throwing more curves.
Well, he struck out Lorenzo on a wicked breaking ball last time up. Wind is blowing out towards left. Inside 1-2. Carnes came over from the Washington Nationals. He was their 12th round pick in 2009 out of Texas Tech. Two and two.
I understand he was a linebacker.
Captain of the football and the baseball team in high school. Grew up in Arlington, Texas.
That's a big football state. 6'3", 235.
Again, he got it on the hands of Lorenzo, who muscles it over near the opposing dugout. Grabbed by the pitching coach, Jim Hickey. And our DraftKings players to watch for the day: Brett Gardner, who was selected by Ned Yost to replace Alex Gordon in the All-Star game. He today went 3 for 4 with his 10th home run against the Oakland A's. Cody Anderson has just 1 walk in 23 2/3 innings, and Cody is home today to Houston. just inside.
I like Brett Gardner. He's a player that can make a difference with his speed, his defense, the way he can get around the bases.
And Ned likes guys with flexibility who can play left field, center field, right field. That's why he went after Brock Holt, the Boston Red Sox, who can play everywhere. Ooh, on the hands of Lorenzo, and he got, well, it was inside anyway, but he looked like he got hit on the hand.
I believe that'll be the call. 6th time this year he's been hit.
So 2 on with 1 out, and the batter is Kendrys Morales. Royals could swing that momentum back big time with a base hit after the Rays scored 3 in the top of the inning to cut the Royal lead to 1. Kansas City after their 50th win of the year. Our Toyota League leaders show you that Kendrys Morales in the top 5. Mark Teixeira has 61. Josh Donaldson having an amazing season for the Blue Jays. They'll be coming to the K next on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Morales with those 56. Jeff Francoeur had 56 before the All-Star break in 2011. Before that, Jose Guillen had the most with 65 before the break in 2008.
That was the right approach right there by Morales. He has grounded into 13 double plays. So to keep him away from rolling his hands over, you want to keep your hands, or try to keep it inside and go the opposite field. That swing he just took was the one.
And they're playing him to pull. Tried to check his swing. Did he go? He did not. The runners advance, and both get there. Hosmer to third, Kane to second base.
He can forget about rolling over now. Let's go ahead and find a hole. One lousy single will plate 2 Royals. Runners advancing like they should.
Lorenzo Cain wanted a little time, asks for it from the umpire, and then gets back up. He was very slow in getting up. Remember, he missed 2 days this week. Basically, the Royals resting him to take care of that little painful hamstring. Now the infield in. Foul off. It stays 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Another thing to keep an eye open for is the wild pitch that just happened before that. That gives him 12. He's got 12 wild pitches on the season.
And I wonder how many are on that knuckle curve.
Well, a lot of them, because you're going to bounce that. You're going to keep that ball down, and when it has that overspin on it, it hits the ground and takes off. So Hosmer will be able to look to advance anything in the dirt. It bounces.
Good battle between Carnes and Morales. Kendrys, one of the smartest Royal hitters, and he has scored that runner 10 out of 14 times this year. The major league average is 50% with a runner on third base less than 2 outs. So he is 21 points above that percentage.
Infield in like that, Morales loves it. He's money in these situations.
You very rarely see him overswing. And he hits it high in the air. This will be deep enough. Hosmer will tag. So will Kane. Kiermaier with the catch, bringing the throw home. And Hosmer will score. I thought Kane would go when he threw over the head of the cutoff man.
Oh, well, he's still in scoring position. Kiermaier, he likes to show off that arm. He has 8 outfield assists this year, but I love how he got in back of that ball. I mean, he got way back. He had to come running in almost at a full speed to gather that momentum to make that long heave. Look at how he backs up. Now he's going to come running in almost full speed. He's got a lot of momentum, and he airmailed it. And a pretty good effort from the center fielder there, but they get back that run. One of them. Sac fly for Morales. He does the job.
Royals back in front by 2, 5-3. The biggest lead was 4-0. Now Kane goes, and the pitch is bobbled by Rene Rivera. So perhaps Lorenzo just wanted to steal his 17th base.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. He knew he could walk into third base. Now it helped it was a breaking ball, and of course those are the pitches you like to pick to steal. And that's a good steal there, because we just talked about them as many wild pitches as Carnes has thrown. He could score on a bouncer.
Perez down the left field line, but foul. Carnes leads all American League rookie pitchers in strikeouts with 99.
Remember, he likes to throw that high fastball in there to try to get guys out, pop it up or swing and miss.
That time a fastball at 95 miles an hour, and Salvi spun it back to the screen.
I can guarantee you that guy is not a bus driver. Sorry, Slugger, you got the wrong driver.
On the hands of Salvador, again at fastball at 95 miles an hour. Our Academy Sports and Outdoors statistic for right now: Lorenzo Cain second, tied for second with Billy Burns of Oakland, and Perez fouls it out of play. Jose Altuve with 25 before the break. Jose stole more than 50 last year for the Astros, and he will be representing the American League in next week's All-Star game. You can watch on Fox on Tuesday night. Salvador with a drive. That's deep and gone.
'14th home run, and I guarantee you that ball was lined on the shot. I mean to tell you, didn't have a whole lot of top spin on it, but it had some. He didn't get underneath this one. He got the middle to the top half of it. I mean, he squared it up perfectly.
And Hutt, he threw him 3 straight fastballs. And like you talked about, I wonder if Lorenzo Cain, stealing third base, took that curveball that was bouncing in the dirt away from him, and Sal's just sitting dead red.
Well, whatever it was, he made the wrong pitch at the wrong time to Salvador Perez. He was able to make him pay and get those runs back.
Now the batter Omar Infante, but the Royals are back in front by 4. They respond with a 3-run bottom of the 5th after the Rays scored 3 in the top of the 5th.
Some more 2-out lightning, and that's what players call it. Keep the lightning coming. It's coming with 2, especially 20 of the last 32 runs in this series have come with 2 outs.
Infante pops it up to right field. Grady Sizemore will make the play, but a big 3-run 5th inning for Kansas City, highlighted by Salvador Perez.
Can't sneak a piece of cheese by a hungry rat. They know that.
Sox last night. Here's Hawk Harrelson.
Ball high and deep, way back. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Sox win it 7-6. You gotta be bleeping me.
As only Hawk Harrelson can do. The Royals will see the White Sox out of the All-Star break. Of course, Alex Gordon will not be there. His good buddy Luke Hochevar stretching right now. Guys, had a chance to talk to Luke about the injury last night. Luke and Alex are very close, best friends on this team, longest tenured Royals. And Luke said he knew something was really wrong when Alex didn't get up. He said he always gets up to finish a play if there's still a play to be made. He was looking back, though, to one time a couple of years ago, if you guys remember, when Alex collided with the wall. He got knocked out cold, and he said, I walked up to him out of the bullpen at that point, and I said, okay, come on, just get up. You're fine. And he turned back to him. He said, come on, are you going to lay here all night or what? And Gordon kind of opened his eyes and said, shut up, Hoach. He said, but last night there was nothing, and he knew something was really wrong. He said, look, that guy's the toughest one out there. You could shoot that guy in the back and he would barely sweat. Last night he looked down at him. He was just pale white. He said, this one really, really stinks because no one works harder than Alex. No one cares more about the game. No one cares more about his team. So as Biz, you said before, a pit in the stomach when Ned Yost woke up last night. Everybody hurting on the news of Alex, especially his best friend, Luke Hochevar.
And this ballpark was so quiet, Joel, when it occurred. And I thought Jeremy Guthrie's words after the game were so perfect because he said, I had a difficult time focusing the rest of that inning. And it really wasn't until Gerard Dyson made that terrific play with the bases loaded and nobody out where Guthrie could come back and finish the inning. And then he was fine after that. And Guts obviously got the victory. But everyone in this ballpark, I mean, Joel, as you might remember listening to the broadcast, Rex Hudler didn't speak for like 8 minutes, and that set a Royal record on a broadcast.
Shocker. That was not a moment to talk.
Very humbling experience when you lose one of the rocks of the organization, a guy who was drafted in the first round by Kansas City, came up as a third baseman, moved to the outfield, and became so good at that position, won 4 Gold Gloves and then a Platinum Glove, and then selected by the fans to represent Kansas City in the All-Star game. And just a week before the event goes down with an injury that looks to lose about 8 weeks, but you never know because Alex keeps himself in such great shape, and the Royals with a great medical team led by Nick Kenny and Dr. Vincent Key and Kyle Turner and so many others, Jeff Plum as well. But I say that because Alex is already in peak shape, and you know that as soon as they allow him to do his physical therapy, he's really going to get after it. But we should let our fans know that Yordano Ventura went 5, gave up 3. Now Brandon Finnegan pitching. And Joey Butler will come on to pinch hit, facing Brandon Finnegan, who was called up today, and Aaron Brooks sent down to the minor leagues.
DeJesus just hitting 143 off of lefties. That's why Cash made the move. Butler hitting 317 off of southpaws. That'll get you in that lineup. Hard fastball, sliders.
And Finnegan, his ability to come out of that bullpen really strengthens the Royals pen. And I say that because, Rex, the Royals have so many 1-inning guys down in the bullpen, but Brandon can give them multiple innings. He can go 2-3 innings and a swing and a miss. And they also now have 2 lefties, Morales, of course, and Brandon.
And you know, Finnegan, he's their swing man. He's got a ton of options left, so you can move him up and down at your leisure when you need him. But the Royals, they stretched him out when he left spring training to be able to throw 2 or 3 innings. So that's a valuable piece for them. And because of the injury that just sent him out, he's able to come back quickly.
He was optioned to Omaha yesterday, though he didn't join the AAA club as he was recalled by the Royals today, so I'm sure he was in town. Finney, though, recorded 3 straight groundouts in the 6th inning of a 1-1 game on Tuesday night. And that one is high, and Butler with a walk. 4th walk issued by a Royal pitcher today, 3 by Ventura. And the batter will be Asdrubal Cabrera. Brandon did get the win in that 7-1 final score of Game 2 of the split doubleheader on Tuesday. And that was his 2nd regular season win and 1st at home. Cabrera doubled and scored part of the 3-run 5th by the Rays, and there is strike 1. By the way, the Royals have scored 7 or more runs in 4 straight games, and it surprised me a little bit they haven't done that since 2011. They've won 9-5, 7-1, 9-7, and now lead this one 7-3 in the 6th.
They're winning just by scoring 4 runs. So the added runs, those are always a bonus. Dave Island, he'll take as many as that offense will give him. As deep as his bullpen is, the arms they've got down there, you know, starters only have to go 5 innings, 6 innings. He's some kind of pitching coach. A lot of fun too. He understands. He's got a lot of the new school in him, but he's got plenty of old school.
Yes, he does.
And that old school is important for these young players that are coming up.
Swung on and missed by Asdrubal Cabrera. He strikes out. That's out number 2.
I like the fact that since Dave got here, not only has the pitching really turned around as Finnegan is able to get his strikeout, is the fact that he has taught these guys to be accountable and to, you know, own it. If you make a bad pitch and it costs you the game, don't tell the media afterwards that you made a good pitch when you really didn't. You know, just say, hey, look, I made a bad pitch down the middle, the guy hit it out. Be accountable. It's part of this game.
There's a base hit to right field by Kevin Kiermaier. He's around first base so quick. He's going to second, and he is tight. Boy, he's fast.
Better believe it. And he gets that out of the batter's box. Not so sure why he doesn't lead off. He's a leadoff type hitter to me. But he, on contact, it is off to the races. He's done with the bat. He sets it down and becomes a runner. Hits the inside part of the base, and he's a guy who makes the outfielder stop him. Now the ball beat him there. Eske couldn't get the tag down on his foot. That's not a good tag by Eske. Normally, you got to go right to that base.
It was in slow motion. Now Rivera. Strike 1. Ryan Madson starting to warm in the Royals bullpen. I'm sure Ned Yost would love to start him in the 7th. Although if Finnegan can finish this inning, they may stay with him. He swings and misses and now has it down 0-2 because the Rays will have a lefty Jaso, a lefty Sizemore, and then the right-hander Longoria to open the 7th inning. Finnegan, we told you, one of the multiple inning guys that Ned can go with. Outside 1-2.
Finnegan does have a changeup, and he throws it occasionally. This is a pitch here, not an opportunity that he might want to Try something different. He's got a good back leg slider that he'll throw in there. We'll see if Salvi calls for it.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Rivera has struck out and walked with the bases loaded in the 5th, and that drove in a run. Again, Brandon came in. There wasn't much that Rivera could do with it other than foul it off. Finnegan mainly goes fastball slider coming out of the bullpen, but when he was down at AAA Omaha and also at Northwest Arkansas working as a starting pitcher, he would use that changeup a little bit more. Rivera to left field. Dyson chasing and foul.
Like how Dyson, he covered every angle down there. If that ball was going to stay fair, he would have caught it. Good effort.
Finnegan hung a slider on that one. Rivera out front.
That was close.
The 2-2 pitch outside, 3-2. Granted, has thrown 23 pitches, and just a little over half of them have been strikes. 13 strikes, 10 have missed. That'll work.
Beauty.
He came back with a 3-2 off-speed pitch and strikes him out.
Way to clean it up. Nice pitch.
KC leads 7-3. And time for our Yellowwood bringing the lumber.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, that first inning was loud and explosive. Lorenzo Cain hit his 8th home run. That's a career high for him. Salvador Perez jumped all over Carnes' fastball there. He hit his 14th.
Now Alex Rios, he goes after the first pitch, pops it up right side, and it's the first baseman Loney to take care of Alex for the first out. The 6th inning is our Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant is Troy Ingracia from Blue Springs. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Troy will win $100. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Troy will win $25 grand from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. And last night, Gerard Dyson delivered $1,200 to the winner on an inside the park home run. And Dice will be up 3rd in this inning. Cuthbert right now the batter, facing an 0-1 count from Nathan Carnes.
Second, third time through, as advertised, Carnes going to his curveball, throwing that pitch a lot, and he's got good command with it.
This is the most runs he's allowed in a game this year. He had pitched so well, absolutely throwing great baseball his last 5 starts with an ERA of 1.78. And no home runs allowed in those 5 starts, but 2 today, 1 to Kane and 1 to Salvador Perez.
Well, he witnessed last night what the Royals offense did to their ace.
And being this his rookie year, that's the most runs he's allowed in 1 start in his career. Where the Rays have had such a difficult time against Kansas City, and particularly in this ballpark. Royals have won 17 of the last 22 meetings with Tampa Bay, and they've won 13 of the last 15 here. This has become the Rays' house of horrors.
You want to keep it up.
Cuthbert went after that 3-2 and lifts it in the air to Sizemore, who will make the catch. And time again for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag KCDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, outside of a triple, fans say is the most exciting play, an offensive player for them. How about the inside the Parker? Wow, that will bring you off your feet. Dyson takes off out of the blocks. He's hoping that DeJesus won't make the play, and he didn't. Landed on that Trevor turf, and it was off to the races. Dyson, first career inside the Parker. Look at that, like you got a clock on him, as he really turned it on. And you know, I like how he relished by staying on his belly, just gathering the moment, saying, wow, my first inside the Parker.
And he had this broad smile on his face and was looking directly into the Royals dugout, as I'm sure the guys were smiling and laughing back at him. And he delivered $1,200. And now he gets a base hit to left. Dyson is on. 1 for 3.
He's had a nice little smile, had some good words after it was over.
You know, I thought he really handled the situation so well, visiting with Joel after the ball game, and he addressed his appreciation and love for Alex Gordon and how much Alex means to the team, and how much not only the team but Gerard himself would miss him. But he also said we as a team must move on, and everybody has to pick things up. Not one thing out of his mouth was I. It was all we, us. And that's one of the really cool things I love about this Royal team. And Ned Yost shared with us another team moment before the game. He said he and Dave Island went to Chris Young, and they asked him, hey, do you think you might be able to go on Saturday? And Chris laughed out loud, and he said, you know, I was thinking of coming to you and just letting you know that, hey, if you need me on Saturday, I'm available. So Chris Young will start for the Royals this Saturday afternoon. Dyson goes, pitch taken, throw to second base. Not even close.
11 out of 12 now in steals, Gerard Dyson.
He gets going so fast that he almost slides by the bag every time.
He does, but Forsythe's shin kind of slowed him down on that one. He almost got a shin sandwich.
Kept his knee on the bag. Now in scoring position for Escobar, who is 1 for 3 today.
And Esky, who's hitting .356 with runners in scoring position. A nice mark for your leadoff hitter.
That's to the second baseman. Escobar is out. So are the Royals, but they take a 7-3 lead to the 7th inning here at Kauffman Stadium. Baseball is brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit us at yourmidwestforddealers.com and by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Well, the rain has finally passed. We are expecting a few showers tonight, but they say it's going to heat up for this weekend. So come on out to the K to watch the Toronto Blue Jays and your Kansas City Royals. Ryan Madson will come out of the bullpen. Another great element in Ned Yost's pen. 1.6 ERA, 157 batting average against.
Gotta like the body of work he brings you. Ned Yost, excited to have Ryan Madson. Another great decision out of spring training to keep him.
One pitch, one out.
Well, that's the easiest out Jaso's made in the whole series, and he still hit it hard. Madson, low 90s. He'll touch some 95s with his fastball. Got a pretty good slider that he breaks in there, but that changeup is exceptional. So really, 2 pitches is all he needs.
He finished off the 7-1 win in Tuesday's second contest with a 1-2-3 ninth. And he comes right over the top at 6 feet 6 inches tall, so good down angle, and then he has that exceptional changeup. That's a good 10 to 12 miles an hour, slower than his fastball. One ball, one strike. And how good has he been lately? How about this, Hud? Opponents are just, well, they're actually 0 for 24 with 1 walk over his last 11 outings going back to June 12th. So over the last month, nobody's gotten a hit off of him.
Gotta love that. That's good stuff.
What a weapon. And then he's been cutting that fastball coming into left-handed batters. Grady Sizemore today 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly to drive in his 5th run as a member of the Rays. Infante knows he has to be quick. He is, and there's 2 out.
So nice to know whenever there's a ground ball hit over there, he's got such good hands and he makes those plays and he makes them look easy. So you almost don't appreciate Infante, but his hand and glove work are exceptional. He makes those off balance throws, and it's the veteran in him. He's done it for so many years, and he's added some stability in that Royals infield, that's for sure.
Now Evan Longoria. He's been on twice with a single and reached on the Cuthbert error. Ventura went 5 today, gave up 3, looked good his first 4 innings, but struggled with his command in that 5th inning, walking a couple, including one with the bases loaded. Royals trying for their 50th win of the year, moved to 17 games over 500. And they've been very strong at home this year and enjoying great crowds that have been averaging almost 33,000 fans per game. Base hit by Longo to right field, his 2nd hit of the day. And that breaks the 0 for 26 that Ryan Madsen had delivered the last month.
Longo got a nice base hit off of Holland last night, just like that. A pitch on the outer half, able to recognize the pitch and just go with it. Don't try to do too much.
Here is James Loney. Ball 1. Wind continues to blow out towards left. And the wind has picked up in the last couple of innings. It's like 15 to 25 miles an hour now. Loney takes a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Kansas City with 3 runs in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, and 3 in the 5th. Tampa Bay got all of their runs in the top of the 5th. Toronto coming in next. They'll be here tomorrow through Sunday before the All-Star break. Duffy and Estrada going tomorrow night. Then Saturday afternoon at 1, Chris Young will be on the hill against Mark Burley.
Well, that ought to be a pretty quick game.
His last one, he was locked up in a duel with Chris Sale, and it went 1 hour and 54 minutes.
Under 2 hours.
It'll be way early for dinner.
Oh my. Look at that ERA, 2.89. Anything under 3 nowadays is exceptional.
Loney lines it back to Madsen, and James just drops his bat at home plate as if to say, are you kidding me?
Speaking of exceptional, what reaction by the mauler. Madsen, he'll tell you had it all the way. Skills.
Moose. I'm all about the Moose. But the Moose, about the Moose, no Dozier. All right, anyway, Mazda game break. We go to Chicago. And not a lot of scoring in this one. Home run off of R.A. Dickey from Cabrera. And Jeff Samardzija goes the distance. First pitcher to go complete game shutout against them since Drew Smiley last year. Yankees beat Oakland. There you see the White Sox shutting out the Blue Jays. Houston and Cleveland, Detroit and Minnesota tonight. That's our Panera around the league. Coming up after the game on Boulevard Royals Live, analysis about Yordano Ventura and reaction from the game. Jeff Montgomery, Bruce Chen, and we'll get you ready for tomorrow as those Blue Jays, John Gibbons Jays, the high-powered offense, they were shut down today. Danny Duffy will try to do the same tomorrow against Marco Estrada. And after the game, we will also hear not only from Ned Yost, but Alex Gordon will be addressing the media for the first time. So hope you'll stay with us on Boulevard Royals Live as we will get a chance to hear from Alex for the first time following that injury last night.
Thank you, Joel. And if our fans just joined us, Alex suffered a grade 2+ groin strain last night, trying to make a play in left center field. A fly ball struck by Logan Forsythe. And Ned Yost told us they'll likely lose him for an 8-week period. So perhaps September. You know what a diligent worker Gordo is. And there is Hosmer with a long smash, but well fouled.
Oh, now that's what you call a gangster hack. I mean, he just
why is that?
Teed it high and let it fly, and that was a beautiful hit, a stroke. It went foul, and pitchers will tell you, but look at that. That is a full hack. I'm going to take you deep swing.
In there, 2-2. Eric today batting in the 2 spot is 2 for 3. He had a double in the first inning and a single in the 5th inning, scored both times. And he also drove in a run in that 3-run first. RBI number 43 this year.
Gelt's fastball, 91 to 95. Hard slider. He's got a split finger.
Yeah, we saw him in that split doubleheader. So Carnes goes 6, gives up a career high 7. Hosmer with a rip and swings and misses and strikes out. So Stephen Geltz, at 27 years of age, went to college in Buffalo. Lorenzo Cain will step to the plate.
Yeah, Geltz, he's the first big leaguer from the University of Buffalo outside of Joe Hesketh, my former teammate. Hesketh was a lefty. He got 11 years in the big leagues. Not too many big leaguers come out of the University of Buffalo.
State University of New York in Buffalo. 1 ball, 1 strike to Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo with our Jeep drive of the game back in the 1st inning.
Now coming into the season, batting in that 3rd spot, you know, as he did last season, you wondered how many home runs does Lorenzo Cain have in him in that power slot? Well, some said 10, some said 15. I'm saying at least 15 or more. I mean, Lorenzo Cain, he's starting to find himself and recognize those pitches that he can hit over the wall. And it doesn't really matter either, center field on over. He's got plenty of power to reach all those areas, even here at the K. We've seen him hit 2 home runs this year straight away. I mean, way out of here.
Fouled off. He did not like that earlier call by Siegel, the umpire, thinking it was inside the way Rene Rivera had to twist his glove to make the catch, but it did have a lot of late life running in on Lorenzo. Three and 2. Kansas City scored 32 runs in these 4 games after only 15 the previous 7 games. That will get back and out of play, and today 7 runs on 9 hits. The Rays with 3 runs on 6 hits. They'll want to get out on town, and they were one of the best road teams in baseball coming in. They were 22-14 starting this series.
Lorenzo getting closer and closer. Now you wonder with those fastballs that Geltz is throwing, if he doesn't break out that split finger at some times. He's got the hitter in a swing mode now. Split finger is designed to look like a fastball, but then when they split their fingers on that baseball, it has some downward movement.
Lorenzo to right field. Grady Sizemore will make the catch. 2 out now in the 7th inning. And that will bring in Kendrys Morales, who drove in his 57th run in his last at bat. Fans, you can slug your way to the home run derby crown and master the game millions are playing. Action-packed, insanely fun, and play in great American ballpark. Home of the All-Star Game with 2015 Home Run Derby participants. Download MLB.com Home Run Derby free on the App Store and Google Play. And I understand Todd Frazier's going to play in that Home Run Derby again this year in Cincinnati. I'm sure they'll have a lot of excited fans in his home ballpark. The guy has 25 home runs already. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's one of the many exciting events that's a part of All-Star Week.
We'll be heading to Cincinnati to play those Reds in late August. There's that split. The Royal home run leaders, I mean, you've got Salvador Perez with 14, Alex Gordon with 11, and Morales with 10. Morales 57 RBIs, 5th in the American League, and he hits that one well to left field, but not deep enough. DeJesus makes the catch, and Geltz gets the Royals in order in the 7th. We head to the 8th. It's the Royals 7 and the Rays 3. Ball game after arguing with the home plate umpire. I don't think he liked Chris Siegel's ball strike call, so Rusty Kuntz, first base coach and outfield coach, trying to settle down Lorenzo before he heads to the clubhouse with the Royals leading 7-3. Here's the pitch he didn't care for. It again had great run to it. And Steve Physioc along with Rex Hudler. We're joined now by Royals Hall of Fame pitcher Jeff Montgomery and Monty. Luke Hochevar coming on now, and every single bullpen arm they bring out just does remarkable work. Finnegan, and then Ryan Madsen, and now Luke Hochevar, who looks like he's got the command from his last outing.
Yeah, I think the thing I'm most excited about for Luke is the fact that he's been consistently good out there. We saw him have a tremendous season in 2013. Obviously missed all of last season, but he's kind of bits and pieces now. He's getting it all back together. We're consistently going out and executing very quality pitches throughout the entire outing. We saw him earlier in the year. He had flashes of brilliance, but now we're starting to see him get closer and closer to what we saw in 2013.
It almost seems like we're seeing his ability to repeat a pitch where you'll see a great cut fastball and then he'll double it up with another great cut fastball, where back in April you might see one and then another one might be a little flatter.
Right, and you couldn't tell much difference in his stuff, and some of the pitches he was getting hurt on actually didn't look like that bad of pitches. But unfortunately, when you're not 100%, when you're not quite there, the hitters certainly have a way of letting you know that.
Well, Hoch back out there for the 8th inning now. And in the old days, Monty, you'd say, you know, let's get the starter's pitch count up and get the starter out of the game and then beat up the bullpen. But with the Royals, you say, let's try and keep the starter in as long as you can, because you don't want to face any of those bullpen arms.
Yeah, when these guys come in, it's certainly power arm after power arm, and it's great luxury for Ned Yost and company to have.
Forsythe to left field, and the new center fielder is Gerard Dyson, who moves over from left to center, and Paulo Orlando coming into play left field. Our sprint cuts of the game. Luke Hochevar with his work in Tuesday's doubleheader.
Yeah, nice little ground ball double play in that 7th inning. Trying to go out and finish off really nicely. Great outing by Luke. And this is, again, one of the more consistent outings we've seen from Luke this entire season.
Joey Butler came on to pinch hit for David DeJesus and walked in the 6th inning. Coach has him down 0-1. Foul back. 0-2. Wanted to get your thoughts on what you saw from Yordano Ventura. He looked sharp his first 4 innings and then labored with his command in the 5th.
Yeah, there toward the end of that 4th inning really is when it seemed like it started to leave him a little bit. Fortunately, he was able to get through that 4th inning, but it was very good early. Again, you know, just flashes of brilliance that we've grown accustomed to seeing from Yordano, but unfortunately haven't seen it as consistently, you know, as we want from start to finish. So hopefully that's just something that comes with him as he builds himself back.
Runs save everything. When your offense is hot, it picked him up. It's not talked about as much.
Exactly. Winning covers up a lot of mistakes.
Better believe it. But I liked it. I thought Ventura looked good, and he had good life on his fastball. His curveball looked pretty good. He had a lot of confidence in his changeup.
And he threw a couple of very good curveballs. That's a good sign that his arm feels healthy.
And he shut down 11 in a row. And Monty, I wanted to ask you, did you notice anything different from the full windup or from the stretch? Because the stretch isn't that much different than his full windup, but it is different.
It is different, and I think what I saw from him is that at times he got to where things started being lateral. He was missing up and away, which means he's trying to overthrow the ball a little bit, and the ball gets away from you, and as a result, it's up and into those righties and up and away to the lefties.
Always something to work on in this game. Joey Butler didn't mean to do it. Tried to check his swing, rolls it foul. It stays 3-2. Royals with the best record in the American League, 49-33, leading the Central by 4.5 over the Minnesota Twins, who will be hosting Detroit tonight, and David Price. That's out of play. Mike Pelfrey will be going for the Twins. Let's take a look at what we saw from Yordano Ventura, Monty.
Yeah, here, young man, got great stuff, and sometimes you just have to trust it. Also, trust that defense. And there's one of those curveballs I was talking about. Just had That over the top, straight off the table movement. Again, trust that defense. You get a lot of help on this defense on any time you're going to play, but especially whenever you got a team like the Rays are going to put the ball in play a lot. They're not going to swing and miss a lot.
A walk to Joey Butler, so 1 on, 1 out.
Going to take a look here at Luke. That's a tendency that a lot of right-handed pitchers will have when they fall off toward that first base side. Brings to mind Kevin Appier.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he certainly did. All the arms and legs coming at you. A lot of deception. Didn't wind up in a good fielding position, and I'm sure Ryan Madsen is glad he did the way he ended that last inning, taking care of that screaming line drive by James Loney. Asdrubal Cabrera 1 for 3 this afternoon, doubled back in inning number 5, part of a 3-run fifth, and he hits this one high in the air. Dyson barely has to move. Now he trots a little bit to his right and makes the catch for out number 2. Monty, do you think there's a new strategy in baseball? And I'm looking down at the Tampa Bay Rays, and statistically they have the second lowest starting pitching ERA in the American League at 3.28, yet their bullpen has thrown the most innings. So that means Kevin Cash is taking the starters out earlier than most teams, and the Royals have a similar situation where their starters are going 5, sometimes 6, but the Royal record is like over 20 games over 500 if their starters go 5 1/3 or more.
Well, you like to get more innings, but I think another thing this Rays staff's a lot of young pitchers. You don't want to really press those arms, especially you got a guy like Chris Archer. You got to protect him, so you don't want to really subject him to overuse.
And look at that play by Cheslor Cuthbert down the left field line in foul territory. Hoach just tipped his cap. We've seen some fine defensive plays this afternoon. Special edition of America's Pregame. Salute to Victory, featuring the United States women's national team after their historic victory at the 2015 Women's World Cup, with complete coverage of their ticker tape parade live from New York City beginning at 10 in the morning Central, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And Rex, you and I, we watched the Royals have that thrilling walk-off on Sunday, and then obviously hustled home to watch the Women's World Cup. And I mean, that match was barely 10 minutes old and it was 4-0.
Gotta love it. Early pressure, early goals.
Great team. You know, I thought defensively they were the best team in that tournament, but then offensively against Japan they just really turned it on. Here is Salvador Perez. Perez is lined out, struck out, and then blasted a 2-run home run into the Royals bullpen. The new pitcher is Alex Colomé. He was scheduled to start on Monday, and obviously he was scratched when the Royals and Rays were rained out. They had a split doubleheader on Tuesday, and Kansas City had the dramatic win and walk-off fashion when Paulo Orlando hit a grand slam to win it, and then they ran away with game 2, winning 7-1. And Colomé was scheduled to go back to the bullpen because Jake Odorizzi is getting closer to coming back and joining the rotation. On the hands of Sal, and he pops it back here. Foul our way. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kelvin Herrera warming. He's another all-star. The Royals sending 2 of their relievers to Cincinnati in the all-star game. One Herrera, the other Wade Davis. Grounded to short. Cabrera. Boy, he still is so slick. I remember seeing him on so many highlight reels when he was a shortstop for the Cleveland Indians.
He's got great hands.
Sure does.
He's only made 4 errors this year. Excuse me. He's only made 2 errors this year. Colomé, hard fastballs. That's what you can expect. Slider, curve change. Probably just fastball slider in his relief role.
Comes up and in on Omar Infante. Omar just 3 for 15 in this series. Again upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Colomé pitched the final 2 1/3 innings of that 7-1 loss. And they called that a strike, grazing the outside corner. And then Infante lines one to right field. So he's on with 1 out for Alex Rios.
Dale Swaim, hitting coach for the Royals, has to be happy in this series of what his hitters have been doing to every single pitcher, no matter what their pedigree, what they've been doing. They've just been recognizing their pitches, and they're not missing them. That's the big key. Ned Yost was talking about that. You can get your pitch, but you can't miss it. They've been able to square it up and get those hits when they've needed them.
Today is another double-digit hit day with 10 hits. Rios had 1 back in the 2nd inning. So everybody in there, the only multi-hit game from Eric Hosmer, who has a double and a single. That's back up the middle, and Rios has a 2-hit day.
Good to see it. Finding the holes, shortening up his swing. Infante and Rios down at the bottom. You see Salvi's next to the hitting coach, Dale Swain. Dale, very simple approach. Keep it simple. Look for your pitch. Look him up. Look up in the zone. All you guys' mechanics are what they are. You know, they're an aggressive hitting team. It's hard to change that. So just continue to put that ball in play on balls up. So Swain really has the focus of the hitters looking up in the zone.
You know, it's really interesting when you're so close to a team and you see their aggressive nature when they don't walk that much, they don't strike out that much, but the opponents are a little bit in awe of what Kansas City's offense does. Talking to the Rays, they were saying, you know what, they just make stuff happen. They're an action team and they have you on your toes all the time because they're constantly striking the baseball, going first to third, running the bases well. And sometimes as a fan or as a broadcaster, you go, boy, you'd like to see him get in better hitters counts, more 2-0, more 3-1. And the opponents are going, gosh, they'll take a 1-2 pitch and just drive it off the wall.
Or they'll doink it.
Yep.
Just keep the line moving. Rios now, that's his 5th multi-hit game in his last 9. It's good to see him coming on.
How about this? Cheslor Cuthbert, the rookie, coming through again. And he'll drive in his 2nd run of the day. Throw to third. Rios is out. Cheslor, you're making Nicaragua and now Kansas City proud.
Better believe he is. This is another example of a player being called up, and a rookie at that, to fill a spot of one of your star players and doing the job, feeling comfortable, just fitting in. And the level his teammates are playing at elevates him to their level.
Royals playing without 2 of their offensive stars and Alex Gordon because of the injury, and Mike Moustakas, who's on a family emergency leave. But everybody coming through. Cuthbert, 2 hits, 2 RBIs in his first major league week. Gerard swings and misses and falls behind in the count 0-2. Talking with opposing scouts, they say the Royals minor league system really getting deeper and deeper, building that organizational depth. Omaha won again last night, 7-2 over Iowa. And a young outfielder that a lot of scouts like, Brett Eibner, he hit his 10th home run and went 3 for 4 with a couple of doubles and a home run in last night's Omaha win. Royals by 5, bottom of the 8th inning, trying for a 4-game sweep over the Rays. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A chopper up the middle. They save. And Cuthbert may have hurt his right ankle. He slammed hard into the base.
Yeah, good hustle. Sometimes, though, the cleat will get caught on top of that plastic base and it'll grab you.
You knew Forsythe had no chance to get Dyson.
No, and he knew that too. His only chance was the foot race. Started his slide a little bit too late, and when you do that, that's when you can get into some trouble with your feet getting tangled with the bag. So it looks like he's going to be all right. Little bit late.
Cash thinking about challenging, and he's saying nope. So it'll be a base hit for Gerard Dyson.
He'll take it, and he can give that to Cuthbert because he hustled and got in there.
Third Royal with a multi-hit game today. Now 8 runs on 13 hits.
Cuthbert will have to get a little ice on that ankle after the game.
Excuse me, fourth Royal with multi-hit games. That's Rios, Cuthbert, Dyson, and Hosmer. And maybe Escobar. He is 1 for 4. No, he'll roll that to short. Go the short way. They get the force at second base. The Royals do come up with a run and head to the ninth, leading 8-3. Baseball Corporation and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Royals. And who's driving the bus for Fox Sports Kansas City? Well, that would be Joe Libero along with Steve Kurtenbach in the truck, our producer and director, and broadcasters Steve Physiok, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery, Bruce Chen. In that truck also Sam Abramson and Brian Shapiro and Al Broughton, Dave Holtzman, cast of thousands.
Oh yeah, we couldn't do it without our teammates.
Dina Blevins, Ron Swan.
Gotta have it. We're only as good as our teammates, and they're all solid experts in their field.
And we invite you all to be at Kauffman Stadium this weekend.
Especially Dina Blevins. She's got extreme skills.
That's the Duke's daughter, John Wathan. Hud bowing to her now. Kelvin Herrera on for the 9th inning. First batter is fouling it off, Rene Rivera. Strike 1. Royals currently in first place in the American League Central by 4.5 over the Minnesota Twins, who will go up to 5. The Twins play later tonight. Mike Pelfrey will be at Target Field hosting Detroit and David Price. So either way, with the Royals, should they hold on to this victory today, they'll gain ground on one of the 2 teams right behind them. Minnesota Twins in second place, the Detroit Tigers in third place. Tigers 7 games back. Chicago won today. Jeff Samardzija shut out Toronto and R.A. Dickey 2-0. Ground ball short, backhanded Escobar, long throw. You gotta be kidding me.
That's El Mato. Herrera says, you know what? Let me buy you a cold soda pop when we get in the locker room.
And then he says, "You're welcome."
Yeah. He's a magician. I saw a sign the other day here at the Case at El Mago. Look at that. That's a heave-ho.
Haas with the stretch, helping him out as much as he could.
You know, that's just not fair. I mean, some hitters, they hit that ball over there, they're thinking, well, I got a base hit there. No, you don't.
I love his instincts where he always knows the hitter's speed. I mean, if that's a guy like Dyson, he just holds onto the baseball, but he knew Rene Rivera's speed and how much time, how quickly and accurately he had to make that throw, and he still got him by a step and a half. I saw an article online the other day, and the question was, did the Kansas City Royals have the best defense ever? A debate could be made. I mean, they have like plus 42 in runs saved this year, which is the best in baseball, but the athleticism, the balls they get to. Dyson in left field to start today's game. Escobar right now in the 9th inning.
Well, you know, Fizz, you mentioned a speedy runner. Escobar does not back down on a speedy runner. Now, on that particular play, he would have got on top more. He would have got on top of the throw with the speedy runner, but there was some air underneath it because he knew the runner. He had time. Watch this. Best play of the year from Escobar. Michael Bourne, left side. He bare hands it in the hole. Got him. That was incredible. He's never ever made a bare hand in the hole on a play ever, he told me after that. That was some kind of play to a speedy runner, Bourne, who couldn't believe that he threw him out.
And that's why he's heading to the All-Star game, because he makes plays like that.
And Sam Abramson should go to the All-Star game too for pulling up that play. Thank you, Sam.
Rex, so often you look at an All-Star game and you look at the offensive statistics. That's why I'm so glad they're beginning to come up with defensive numbers, because if you watch Alcides Escobar maybe just one game, you may not appreciate as much as if you see him every single day like you and I do.
Yeah, no, he's in line for a goal if he can just stay healthy and finish the season strong.
He and Jose Iglesias, I think, are the two best defensive shortstops in the American League, both having excellent years. Royals finally able to get Jaso out after he went 7 for his first 9. Hit to center field and deep. Dyson going back, and he measures it so perfectly and makes the catch for out number 2. And just a reminder that Royals Charities and Fox Sports Kansas City are once again partnering for our broadcast auction tomorrow night, and the auction begins at 6:30 that night during the Hy-Vee Royals live pregame show and continues throughout the telecast. For more information, just go to royals.com/broadcast auction. And the Royals do so many wonderful things with their charitable programs. One in particular that we see about every single Wednesday is the Dream Factory, and a couple of the kids were up here in our broadcast booth yesterday. Sizemore to center field. Dyson, you betcha. You started it, Gerard, with that brilliant catch in the first, and you ran down 2 to end it in the 9th. The Royals are now a season high 17 games over 500, and the Gordo Nation pretty proud of the way the team is playing.
Absolutely, they should be proud. They wore their Alex Gordon t-shirts in support of him out there, and believe me, they'll keep doing it. What a fine 4-game sweep. Hasn't happened since 2008.
The Royals at 50-33. Best record in the American League. 5 games up on Minnesota, 7.5 up on Detroit. Hang the W. Casey, your Royals have won, and don't forget to vote Moose.
That's right. Get Moose in there, folks. He's well deserving.
This team, despite the loss of Mike Moustakas and Alex Gordon this week, they win today. They sweep the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's go to Joel.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Joined right now by Eric Hosmer and Cheslor Cuthbert. Let's talk about this game. But first, before we do anything, last night your good buddy Gerard Dyson changes all of the momentum. He comes back again in the first inning. Take us through that catch and the emotions.
Yeah, well, obviously, he's got big shoes to fill with Gordo being out, but we got a lot of depth on this team, so he's been doing a great job defensively and hitting, and he set the tone and really sparked up the energy of that first inning with the catch and the double play.
And then that seemed to just carry right over into the bottom half too. 1, 2, 3. You look up and suddenly it's 3-0. How big in a series that you guys have really been playing so well?
It's been big. We've obviously had some guys missing, and Cheslor and all these young guys are doing a great job coming up, filling in the roles, and it's like we're not even missing a beat.
I wanted to ask you about that, just the resiliency of this team, and whoever has gone down, Moose isn't here right now, Cheslor comes up, what that has meant, what it says about this group.
Well, that's basically what it says about the organization. We got a lot of depth and a lot of guys in AAA that can be, playing in.
I was hanging on to you for an extra question so you could help out there and do the work. You were kind of holding him there, weren't you?
Yeah. Just I don't want to get wet right there. But no, like I was saying, there's a lot of guys in AAA that can be on this big league team and be playing every day. So, whenever they're called up here, and Cheslor's making the most of his opportunity and doing a great job.
Eric, great job. We will bring in Cheslor now, let you go. And here is the 22-year-old rookie from Corn Island, Nicaragua, the first ever Nicaraguan-born player to suit up and play for the Royals. Cheslor, what has this week been like for you in the big leagues?
Well, I want to thank Kansas City Royals to give me the opportunity, also the fans for supporting us. This is a moment like I've been waiting for so long, and I'm having a lot of fun right now.
Well, you haven't lost. You come up here and the team is winning and winning and winning. What do you like about playing with this group?
Well, I love it. It's up here all about winning, and that's a good feeling. Like I love that. I love to win. So when I come out here to play, I give everything what I have.
Last thing for you, you've now had your first hit, your first RBI, your first triple today. As a kid growing up on a small island, Nicaragua, Corn Island, and growing up, did you ever dream of this, playing in front of thousands and thousands of people?
I never dreamed it, but since I signed professional baseball, this is my dream. Like, after I signed this, I'll always want to play for Kansas City Royals.
Well, I know Royals fans are thrilled to have you here. Cheslor Cuthbert, congratulations on the debut this week.
Oh, thank you.
All right, there you go, the young 22-year-old Cheslor Cuthbert, and the fans showing their appreciation for him as he gets his first Salvador Perez Gatorade bath. Guys?
Thank you very much, Joel, and maybe he's a good luck charm because the Royals have not lost with Cheslor in that lineup. He played well today, a multi-hit game, and the Royals have 50 wins.